Hi, I'm Timothy Bartel. This is Book 2, Section 5 of Calafia, an Adventure. I am the sad descendant of misguided humans who gave praise to old ones as the greatest gods. The Migo of Lemur were held in such a high esteem by us, we named our land Lemuria, and we forsook the worship that our fathers taught, and burned with lust for secret knowledge from the stars. So nature raised a wave against our hubris, and with earthquake sank our Gnostic walls beneath the waves. The few who lived, my grandsires, hid in tunnels dug in earth. They wound round mountain roots until they came through dank volcanic caverns up and found themselves among the pines on Shasta's slopes in California. But lusting minds are fickle things, and when they found that Migos roamed these slopes, reverted to their cult. I learned this story as a boy, and fearing nature's lash, I fled and left my brothers to their sorcery. Leota spoke. Your fathers must have found this region as it was when Gertruda the Amazon was queen. For Amazonia felt a rift when Penthesilea wished to aid King Priam in his Trojan war, and Gertruda, that queen's fierce niece, said she would rather be exiled than act as vassal to a man. So Gertruda called 50 ships and gathered warriors to depart for manless lands where women would be free to dream and make a state to rival Greece and Ilium in all the arts of war and fame. For months they sailed until they found a coast across the world's wide arc where no men lived nor women, but crude monsters, some equipped with claw and fur coat, others armed with slime and tentacle, there waged a war. But Gertruda annexed the coast and drove the tentacles to sea. The Migo creatures eastward fled to haunt the hills and practice arts too odd and alien to be recorded in the seer's scrolls. The sage replied, you are correct. Long have I lived on this bald peak, and as I learned the language of the beasts, I watched the rise of Amazons and sent my birds to aid their ships in battle with Hawaiian pirate lords. But I lacked understanding of their hatred of the male race, nor knew the history you sang for us. And now I must recount a fault that I have nursed for decades. Yes, a fear I fear I must relinquish now. Section 6. For once I met a fugitive escaped from Daphne's bars and wiles, a man with my complexion who revealed my comrades had moved south and lived on islands called Argalia, where guided by the old one's doctrines, they denied their women learning, dared to tell them that they had no minds, that virtue lay in birthing male heirs. These were the men that Amazons knew best, and often caught and held within the domed and muraled hall of Daphne. I hid myself then from the queen, and ceased to aid her out of fear, lest I be caught and kept to merely breed. Leota spoke with anger then. We favor younger men, old sage. We would behead you quick. Oh, sister, hush, snapped Calafia, silent up till now. No more shall we behead, no more imprison on account of sex. I thank you, sage, for ancient aid. Your hawks, our poems tell, destroyed those famous gray Hawaiian sails and stopped the pirates from escaping. Now new piracies oppress our land. I ask as queen that you give up your fear of women's wrath and power. Call upon your beasts, the bear and fox, and fight with us against Cormain's cruel reign. The sage then smiled, and bright tears streaked a path down to his ash-white beard. I will lay down my fear, my midnight queen, for I can see in you an end of gendered jails and hate of sex. And here I see a cross-stamped knight with whom, unless I err, you are in love. The queen ignored his tease and asked, Is my gray tiger here among your flock? The sage then cawed. From shadow stepped her steed, but changed, its coat now gold, and striped with lustrous purple, like a prince. The queen leaped, straddled, spurred her steed, which reared up in the sunset light, and Calafia called a condor cry, which echoed from Hephaestus' slopes, down every canyon, cave, and crag, announcing that the queen was home at last. Then from the mountains in the east the birds came forth, the keen-eyed hawks, the golden-winged eagles, and the condor hosts. The condor's sable wings were wide as pines are tall, their wrinkled throats stretched like the necks of snakes to gulp their prey. And from the answering west, a flock of griffins bearing troops arrayed the red horizon, heading toward Hephaestus. Cormain was wary, puzzled by the wide commotion in the sky, and still today in California when the birds are flocked and restless, some say Calafia musters all her allies on two wings for some great war. This has been Book 2, Parts 5 and 6 of Calafia, an Adventure. Thanks for listening.